cool.
Welcome to the Undrafted, Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Ooh.
Welcome in everyone to the Undrafted Uncensored. Just making sure Colin didn't keep it on the loop like he said he did. Where I don't know about you guys, but if I'm playing with a guy on the same team, I'm not exactly going to go try and block his shot.
I don't see why not.
Maybe he's better with a hand in his face, you know? Kawhi's used to the pressure.
Well, I mean, James Harden is a big man coming at you, so
Yeah, some guys shoot better that way.
probably be terrified as well. Make sure that they went in, even though it didn't. Still,
Yeah, I'm wondering if Kawhi missed like one or two like wide open shots before that. I didn't get a chance to rewatch. I actually wanted to go back and rewatch if Kawhi had missed like a wide open three one or two times before that. So Harden said, "Well, let's see if this helps you." Maybe it's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. You know?
Did anybody ask him after the game why he did that?
I couldn't find anything.
I couldn't find anything either, and I wasn't sure if maybe I missed it or.
I wonder if he just didn't do a press conference, like if it was just Kawhi and
It sounds like James
something.
Harden.
You know,
Can't answer the tough questions. You know,
they didn't have him out there. Yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah, they might not have put him out there.
I keep watching it because it just keeps popping up on my Twitter feed, and I'm just like, "What are you doing, dude?"
Like, do they just think they're that good that they can just try to block their own shots and still win? I mean, I guess.
I mean, they won by 20 last night.
There you go. Well, what do you want?
Well, speaking of basketball, it is that time of year where the brackets are all everybody's focused on for the next week, and it has been interesting chaos. Some of us have not broken our brackets yet. Colin,
have not? No, I have broken my bracket.
I know you have. That's why I said
my bracket is
you was busted day one.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever lost my champion day one until now.
Yeah, how's it feel?
Yeah, I don't know, man. After going 4-0 in the victory formation last week, I've gone ice cold.
You were in for a gold streak. It's how it goes.
It is. Oh man, like I picked a few of the correct upsets. That was cool. That was fine. Duquesne I got, but yeah, it's not good. Not very good. My random predictor bracket though is doing pretty good. You know,
is it?
Joe said do a random predictor one, and so I did do one of those. I'll find it real quick. I did a few of them, but
that's too fun. Yeah.
Well, like I told you, I did the Pepsi Max one. I'm sitting 44,069th right now.
Nice.
I have, how many points was it? Let me pull it up again.
Wait, you're 44,000?
44,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I have 12 points.
Oh.
And the people tied for first have 3 points
ahead of you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at my the one on the 4-letter, which is in the millions. Like I was like, you're at 44,000. I was like, I'm at 10 million, and I'm at 62%.
No, I'm sitting at 44,000th right now. 44,069th to be exact, with 12 points. It goes from first to 6th to 19th. I don't know how far I want to go because there's a lot of people on 19th right now with 5 points.
That's the Yahoo one, yeah.
No, that's the Pepsi Max one.
Oh, the Pepsi where you choose the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought we were talking about real brackets.
This is a real bracket, damn it. I can still win prizes. Asshole.
It does. So you had to pick like who's gonna lose.
Yeah. So you go through and you pick all the people all the wrong picks basically.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's still kind of the same thing. You're still just picking the bracket. It's just an opposite way of going about it, which is kind of funny because, like, yeah, fuck you, you're gonna lose. Fuck you, you're gonna lose. You're cool. Fuck you.
And what's funny is I think I took that one a little more seriously than I did our actual bracket.
Ha.
I was like, I don't know, this looks a little more fun.
As you should.
Yeah,
Take
fun
the
to pick
stupid one
losers.
seriously.
So far, though, I'm not doing too bad. I'm 3 picks behind the leader at 10th. My team's still in it. I don't know why Colin picked you. Why Colin picked Kentucky. Still don't know why.
Because they had all those talented freshmen.
Can't trust Kentucky.
I went against some of the things that I had said in our last show. Don't trust these guys. Don't trust them. Trust coaches. Trust the coaches that have been there. Trust the veteran teams. I don't know why I thought Kentucky had it this year because it was obviously wrong, but.
Well, isn't that cute? But it's wrong.
I mean, I'm in 10th out of our 27 member group.
There you go.
For E5280. Yeah, Joe, what the hell happened there, Joe?
Oh, way too much shit. The morning before the shit went down that I just did not get it made. And then at that point it was like, well, the games are already going and it kind of feels like cheating now. So
well, you can't do it after. That's why I sent it to you days before to log in at least.
Well, yeah, but until the games were over, because I worked that night, and I didn't want to do it that night. I was going to do it the next day. And then, yeah, just way too much shit went down. My fucking fire extinguisher got just lost somehow. My apartments are inspecting those, and my roommate just lost it. Didn't fucking know anything about it. We just don't know. The apartments have also seemed to not notice that we did not produce a fire extinguisher to be inspected. So that might end up working out, but we're all still kind of pissed because, like, that's a fucking fire extinguisher. Like, you kind of need one of those. And just myriad of little things that morning and big things. I was just like, you know what? I didn't get around to it, and all of a sudden the games are going.
Well, chosen last.
Yep. Good.
Somebody's got to be there, right?
Yeah. I mean, technically, I never signed up, so I'm also in first.
So the Rammies beat themselves. Let's start with them. Get that out of the way. They looked terrible, and I'm going to say it again. They looked terrible. I did not enjoy that game, mostly because we all know they're a better team than that. I mean, that was not a Rams performance. I don't know if just the length of the season got to them.
Well, Stevens is hurt too.
Yeah, that didn't help either, but they didn't look good. They were done. You can kind of see it in Port Nico.
Let's find out.
What's that?
Hello?
Oh,
yeah, who's this?
that was random.
Oh, word.
I don't know. Did you get a chance to watch the game, Colin?
So I caught some of it. It wasn't on the main network, so it was tough to catch a ton of it because the stream thing wasn't that good. But to say the Rammies beat themselves when they lost by 12, they started off slow in the game. Like, that's just Texas. I know is a popular upset pick, and of course I wanted the Colorado teams to win and move on and advance. But as bad as Texas has been, it also kind of shows you the other class of the next level up. Like, Texas hasn't been great, but they're still a more athletic, I guess, more talented team than CSU. And that's what it takes in March Madness for these teams to be successful, is for you to really put it all together and play your best games. Because if you're an underdog, for the most part, you have to play your best game ever and a combination of the other more talented team not playing a great game to win a lot of these games. Like there are multiple reasons why you got to have other team or why underdogs win. There's a lot of reasons why. What's up, Alex?
What up, dude? My boy Alex came and busted it and said, like, what's up? Right while I was still muted. It was perfect.
I saw the light go on and I was like, who the heck? Oh, it's Joe.
This is our boy Alex Botello.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome to the pod. Where are you sitting in this bracket, Alex?
We don't got to talk about it.
Oh, you're not broken bracket?
I am
brackish?
It's a nightmare. All right, it's a nightmare.
You're not brackish? Which bracket are you?
Oh, dude, he's breaking everything.
Are you AL East?
To break.
I should, if I'm in the group, I should just be Alex Bot because I'm a bot.
Did you not sign up to? You're an asshole.
My Instagram is Joe Lose Bad.
Are you brackish? Connecticut winning it all?
No, I should be.
What?
But I did sign up. I know I signed up. Hold on.
I'm just mad because fucking Duke won. So
I
wanted the team that Duke was playing to win, and no, that didn't work out. I didn't put any money on it, thank God.
Duke is your championship pick, Joe.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Nope.
I had Mississippi State.
Nope, not doing it.
Nick had Stetson.
Yep.
You're the only one that's alive with your championship pick.
And I don't want to be. I don't care.
You're alive.
I picked Vermont because they were playing Duke because I don't want to pick Duke.
You didn't pick anything because it's not in the bracket. So you picked
also
Duke.
True. That's also true. Yeah. So I picked Duke. That's fair. I didn't fill it out, therefore I picked Duke.
There we go. I'm fourth on this thing. I'm 21 out of 45.
What the hell is your name?
I don't know, just my name.
Alejandro?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, you're Alejandro. Okay. I didn't know you went back to the roots, the origin.
Well, when it's my email, it just defaults to my name, you know.
Okay. I
it's a cool name.
I assumed it was Alex's brackish.
No, I'm much more disappointing.
Like you're in fourth. Trust me, your champion didn't lose on day one, so nothing as disappointing as that.
That's for the best.
We'll have to have you on for a full show, Alex.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. But right now, I got to make sure I didn't, lose something while I went to the bathroom.
That's fair.
You're taking over for me.
I lost about 5 pounds.
Yeah, we're doing this for like an hour and then
cool.
All right.
Thank you. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Lunch plans, folks. Lunch plans. Yeah, sorry about that. I would like jokingly answer the phone, and then it was actually like a manager from Starbucks wondering if I could cover a shift. And I'm like, oh shit, I should actually talk to this person. Sorry about that.
Excuse me. So, moving on to the Buffs. I mean, we kind of covered the Rams already.
Sadly,
man, that game was good, but it was unnecessarily good because once the Buffs crossed 90, man, they took their foot off the pedal and tried to put it in cruise control, and that's not something you do in the tournament. You got to keep your foot going, at least give yourself something a little more than a 3-possession game.
With how much time that was left, yeah, it felt like they were stuck on 95 forever. It was still a fun game and amazing at the end, but like, dude, it just, I mean, but that's kind of CU's identity to an extent. You know, they late in games like that, they really don't score as much. They've been prioritizing getting stops, and they've gotten a lot of those, especially kind of down the road. But like, I don't know, man. It's rough to see because you don't want your team's identity to be, not scoring all the time. But, it's that's kind of it's worked out so far, knock on. I think this might actually be granted.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, like, the thing with the NCAA tournament is, defense plays, defense travels, of course. But when you're like CSU holding Texas, like we just said, 56 points, that was good. They had decent defense. I mean, Texas didn't play a great game either. But your offense is what wins most of these games in these tournaments. Being able to hit your shots, hit your 3-pointers, hit your free throws, and being consistent in it. UConn last year had a great combination of both defense and offense, but they were both there consistently. They didn't lose a game last year by single digits. They won every game by double digits, I guess is another way of saying it. And that shows that both your defense and your offensive intensity were there the whole time. So usually you see the teams with the better offense come out, which is a good sign for CU that they put up 102, the second highest point total of the weekend so far. 110 yesterday from Alabama.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Was the highest. So with that being said, yeah, it's good. You don't want them to put their foot, pedal off the metal. Hopefully they learned a lesson in that, because Marquette coming up is no joke.
No, and it's definitely not a team you want to try and ebb and flow your way through with, we'll score 22 points here on this run and let them go on a 18-point run before we go on another 24-point run. You can't do that against Marquette. Marquette will eat you alive.
Yeah, we're going to need to see more off the bench from Cody Williams, I think, more scoring in general for those minutes, or just those starters really continuing to ball out. Tristan Da Silva has been really fucking good. Obviously, he carried the team in the kind of play-in game, which sort of counts, sort of doesn't. I still think it shouldn't count as a tournament game, but they really had all five guys were in double digits in the last game against Florida, which was huge. And I kind of think they need to do that again. And then maybe even have some guys step up even further, like KJ Simpson and Da Silva, just Lampkin in the middle, just being a beast. So as long as he doesn't get into foul trouble and they can continue to get just production from those guys and keep playing defense, they have a shot. But yeah, Marquette, they're a 2 seed for a reason.
Yeah, Joe, I was going to say that. I was going to say the foul trouble is the thing that scares me the most for CU, because every time I've watched them, it feels like they have 2 guys in foul trouble. And you
one of them's Lampkin.
Yes, every single game. But you have to do that. And I was going to give a shout out to Jonah, but Chef Jonah, I thought you had the balls to pick Marquette to win the whole thing. He switched it up. He told me he was picking Marquette, and it's switched up now. I'm looking at it.
Oof.
He went with the chalk and UConn, so I'm calling you out, man. You told me you were going Marquette in it. I was like, okay, dude. I was like, I don't blame you. Marquette's good. And I was gonna say, hey, I know one person who picked Marquette to win it all. And as I'm looking, I'm like, there's no Marquette champions here. Jonah. Maybe he was just trying to play a game and hoodwink me, oh yeah, I'm picking Marquette, so I would go that way. I should have gone any other way besides Kentucky. Any other way would have been fine. Anything, any other choice I would have had.
Well, you picked Kentucky to win the whole thing?
Yes. Yeah, my champion's gone.
Wow. Yeah, that was okay. That was bad.
I also for some
why'd
reason,
you do that?
I was looking at one bracket the other day. I was like, what the hell happened here? It was one of the auto pick brackets. Because my other pick would have been North Carolina, to be honest with you.
There you go.
That's who I have playing.
Honestly,
that's who I had playing Kentucky
anyway.
That's who I had. That's why I had Kentucky playing in the championship was North Carolina, and so that's the way I would have gone. But when I looked at one bracket, it was one of the autofills. It was it had Michigan State beating North Carolina. I was like, no way did I do that. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't really fill this bracket out. We're
good. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And I apologize for Colin being a whiny little baby.
I don't.
Broke his bracket on day one. So we thank you for sticking around with us, though, as we dive into the women's. CU women do what they do, and they did what they needed to do. They moved on to the next round. They beat Drake 86-72, and they just look good doing it. They were able to go into cruise control in that fourth quarter and actually, maintain their lead and not send us into a third cardiac arrest for the weekend.
But it's more fun that way.
No, it isn't.
No.
CU, that women's program from the start of the season, I know I talked about it. It was watch out. They're really good. And they had some lulls in there, obviously, being a, 6 seed, correct? I believe they're 6 seed.
5.
5 seed. Being a 5 seed, but you start off the season, you beat the defending champs in LSU.
Defending champs.
You go go through the season. You have some good wins. You have some really bad, unexplainable losses. But it's tournament time, and you show up, and this is well, I mean, I have yeah, it's a homer pick because I mean, besides Caitlin Clark, LSU, I mean the staples in the women's bracket, that are well known. I have CU winning the whole thing, so I have them beating Caitlin Clark next round in Iowa, which send it, let's go. You know, if it works, but I did call. I might not know men's basketball, but I did call Middle Tennessee State winning yesterday in the women's bracket. So there you go. You know, I think that's more luck than anything else. My women's bracket is probably doing pretty decent, but
hey, you take those dubs where you can get them.
You know, I didn't have many of them this weekend.
Even in W, you know.
Oh man.
No, I'm still sitting only at 50%, 49.1% in the women's brackets. I'm still not doing great. That's all right.
So I think it was
but the women can make it.
If I had done a bracket, I would have just auto done it anyway because it would have been funny. So I think while I'm doing this next game, I'll just do an auto bracket real quick because it doesn't matter who won each game. I'm still going to randomize it.
It doesn't let you do it. It doesn't let you do a bracket and join after games have started.
I know that. I'm just gonna just to see what I would have gotten. We're just gonna just to see. You know, I'm just gonna do it. But I'm not gonna. You can't enter. Obviously, the games have started. Yeah, I'm just gonna do one and see what I would have. You know, see how good I would have got. I've done. You know what I would have gotten. Who I would have said to win. You know, probably would have been like Duke.
Well, and you know, back to the game real quick. They did what they needed to do they got points off turnovers. They needed to clean up the fouls a little bit. They had 21 fouls over the course of the game compared to Drake's 12. But other than that, they dominated points in the paint. I mean, fast break points, 32 points off 19 turnovers is massive. That's just taking advantage of what they're giving you. They did have the ball taken away from them 14 times compared to the 7 steals the Buffs had. But go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of fouls, how about the non-call in the Sanford, Kansas, or the call in the Sanford and Kansas game where that dude blocks that legitimately on the layup, and they get the rebound with a chance to not only they have a chance to win the game there because they're only down by 1. Like that was that was a bad whistle.
Yeah, that cost me $10.
Ooh.
I put money on Sanford after
well, yeah, of course.
After the randomizer.
Yeah.
I played along.
Yeah. I was gonna fuck Duke. You know. I was gonna put it on Vermont because that's who they played. But yeah, no, they didn't do it.
That cost me $10. I was so mad because I'm like, what are we calling right now? What are you doing? Leave it alone. Let it play. I'm so mad. That was such a clean play, dude. It was I don't know. It was tough. I also missed this weekend having any buzzer beater hit like for the round one. Yeah, that was weird.
There were no buzzer beaters, but I'm sure
the Buffs were the closest.
Yeah. Buffs were 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
And I mean, Florida almost made that basket. It was kind of close.
Yeah, that was
real close.
Like, you know, it wasn't
thankfully it was a Buffalo Bills toss because it was just a little right.
A Norwood toss.
Yeah. Just a little right.
What do you have against Broncos kick returner Jordan Norwood?
He's no longer a Bronco.
Yeah.
Just like former kick returner Montreal Washington.
Yeah, that one makes me sad.
No longer a Bronco. But he has a chance, but he has a Super Bowl ring.
There you go. Look at him. Winning rings, technically.
Hey, whatever works. Ain't nobody taking it away from you.
Nope.
I mean,
Darius Toney has 2 Super Bowl rings. Nobody can take it away from him.
Hey, you got one. You got more than me.
As long as he doesn't have to catch it, he'll never lose it.
Yeah, right.
as long as nobody throws
Oh.
it.
Speaking of losing it, let's go ahead and shift our attention real quick to the baseball diamond for a moment. And is Otani Japanese for loophole and gambling?
I don't know what the translation is.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know either yet, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure his translator is about to become his fall guy.
This shit's crazy. Like, because it totally could just be the translator is a piece of shit and is, feeding the wrong shit to Otani because nobody else is talking to him. The only part that I don't totally buy is how did he get access to the bank account and the computer? Like, that's the only part that I don't totally see. Like, that's what kind of red flag, like, oh shit, this could be something else. Like, the story doesn't totally add up now. Because everything else, like, I could see that, degenerate gambler he controls the information to a guy who now makes a shit ton of money.
But he really doesn't yet.
Yeah.
Not until this contract's over will he make
money.
He makes so much off of endorsements.
Oh, yeah.
Off of, he's one of the biggest stars in Japan. Probably the biggest sports star in Japan.
Well, these two were best friends, supposedly.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
So that's either, he needed the money from his best friend and he assumed that he wouldn't either miss it or would forgive him afterwards or whatever, or is a piece of shit, stole from him, or like you say, he's the fall guy and Otani's going to pay him, probably that much $1 million when he gets out of jail for this, big theft or whatever.
Well,
if that's what it is.
Okay, well, so I would say, I mean, you mentioned how does he get access? He's with him like almost all the time. I mean, he is with him throughout a lot of things. And
sure,
Nick, we've obviously been in dugouts and had like, oh, here, take my phone. I need you to do this or do that.
Yeah,
and you know what happens when you're practicing. Answer my phone. His translator's probably answering phone calls for him and translating to him, and so he probably has access to a lot of those things, including his personal computer, which I'm guessing has saved information on it.
Yeah, I guess.
So he would have access to it. I think that the access is the thing. And the one, I remember a story about a teacher in Japan who stole, like 20 cents worth of coffee or something like that. There's a story. He was a principal or like a superintendent of a school who didn't necessarily steal 20 cents worth. He did. It's considered stealing. He paid for a medium when he filled up a large, basically. Over and over and over again. He did it a few times, I guess. It wasn't like it was every day, but he got fired from his superintendent job and lost his, $100,000 a year pension that he was a year away from for something like that. So maybe and that's probably a little bit more old school culture, but in Japan, things like that are still very frowned upon in stealing. So yeah. Maybe he is a fall guy and Otani is giving him everything, but I don't think that you would throw out something like that to a guy, because if Otani lost some money, he's not worried about it. Like you said, he's got plenty of money coming. It is what it is. If Otani is making the bets and Home Dude is the one placing them, then then it's an issue. But in the culture of Japan, you're probably not taking the fall for something like that, because a guy lost, working for 50 years for school, he lost everything because of 20 cents worth of coffee because of the culture. So I highly doubt that he would be like, oh, okay, sure, I'll take whatever fall for whatever. Which does lead me to believe that it's a little bit more true. Excuse me?
No, that happens all the time. For guys because it's more honorable to take the fall for your employer. Obviously, it's more in it's kind of like gangster culture here. You take the fall, you don't say anything, you come out, they have something for you. The mafia did it, Yakuza does it. So they definitely have that kind of culture.
That's true too, yeah.
To an extent, obviously, and I'm not saying that this guy or Otani is involved in any kind of Yakuza related kind of stuff. But it definitely can happen. But you're right. It would look worse for him and his family. But I don't know. Maybe he's the only child and his parents are dead.
I think
that's a good point, though. It would look a lot worse in Japanese culture than it would in America. Maybe he's just going to go to jail in America and just not go back.
I think my biggest problem with this whole thing is how Manfred has not said or done anything about it. And I'm not saying that Otani is guilty of anything. I'm not saying he's involved in it. But let's put this shoe on another foot. What if this is, and I'm not trying to make this a race thing, I'm just playing the odds. What if this is a Dominican ball player that's a middle of the road making money, and he has a translator that's doing the same thing?
A 13-year-old in the Dominican Republic.
No, we're not going there, Joe.
I'm not going that route.
I know. It was just too close because you said Dominican.
Well, because that's the next. Anyway, if it's one of those guys, is he being suspended? Is the MLB launching an investigation against the player and the interpreter? I mean, right now this is just the Dodgers fired him, so everything's hunky dory. No, and everything's not hunky dory, because this is potentially a generational player that could be the best ever to play since George Herman Ruth, and here we are looking at a potential gambling issue right now. You won't even let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Gambling's legal now.
Come on.
MLB works hand in hand with DraftKings now. DraftKings is a sponsor, and you still can't let Pete Rose in for everything he did just as a player. His gambling came as a manager.
I'm just picturing a press conference like, gambling is wrong. We cannot allow that to be in our league. Now, thank you, folks. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Thank you for joining us in the DraftKings FanDuel Sports Desk area. Have a nice day.
Yeah. I do see your point, Nick, that it would be, I feel like you're right. I didn't even think about that with some other player, how it would be a whole investigation. Because it wouldn't just be like, oh, yeah, you're fired. But I don't think with Major League Baseball struggling and changing rules to get fans in the seats, you don't want to lose one of your possibly, like you said, best players ever.
But you're going to lose fans if you do it this way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, are you? I don't know. I don't know if you're going to are you going to lose more fans because you kick out Otani and you have an investigation that reveals something? Or are you going to lose more fans by just keeping Otani in the game? I think if you kick Otani out of the game, you obviously lose a large segment of fans. People have come to the games. I mean, we've seen the games when the Angels were here just to watch Otani. I went to watch the Rockies play the Angels just to see Otani play in their first year.
I got to see Otani in the home run derby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are. I think this is one of those you're a superstar and you're treated differently. They're not going to look into it or not look as closely into it. Whereas if it was, I mean, you said Dominican, any other player coming in that had to have a translator, they probably would try and see if it was you or the translator, if it was actually your fall guy. So. That kind of sucks.
It's just a bad look for Manfred. I mean, not that he has a good look about him anyway, but it just continues to further the bad looks that Rob Manfred has and how head in the dirt he really is. I don't know. It drives me nuts. Like I said, I don't want Otani to be, the baseball fan of me wants him to be a true victim. This dude had access to all his stuff and had the ability to make all these bets himself and got himself deep where Shohei did have to come and save his best friend. But at the same time, there's just so much hush about it that it's like we can't let this go.
And so much misinformation, that whole ESPN article that outlines the timeline of how everything went and how at first they were told this, then they were told this. So, like, are we ready to believe it yet, or do we think we're still in the middle of all of the lies and the misinformation and that kind of stuff that's coming out? You know, these stories tend to evolve and develop, and more things come out. You know, some shit has come to light, man. New shit, to quote the Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I think more will come out too. You're right. There will be some more stuff that comes out as time goes along. I think that when you're with an organization like the Dodgers, they're probably got it pretty covered up right now. It's pretty tightly sealed, and that's it. Questions have been asked; they're done. Unless you see the translator around again, then I think that
you won't.
It'll be talked about for a little while, and it'll go away until the next
he ends
translator. Until the next Oh my God! Yeah, Jesus.
Dude, can you imagine those Mets fans?
Oh, they're gonna get on him.
Those Giants fans.
Oh, they will.
Angels fans, dude, they're gonna be all over him.
Oh, dude,
he's gonna learn some English words real fast.
I want to make a sign that says "translate this." You know, draw a middle finger. I don't know.
I just it's bad for baseball. You don't want your face of your league to end up in a situation like that, you know. But I just really hope that this plays out and he's an actual victim, because that's gonna hurt a lot of what baseball has been doing.
Yep, it will. I mean, it will, but that's part of legalizing gambling too. You know, you're gonna have you know that some of these things are gonna happen, and we saw it in the NFL.
Yeah.
Granted, it wasn't obviously as big of a name as Shohei Ohtani is to baseball, but in the NFL, there were guys that were no longer have jobs because of this.
Yeah.
And
they all came from Iowa.
You gotta follow the rules that they have set forth, whether it be you can't bet on your games or your sport. You can't do it at the team's facilities. Like I said, I think most of these, I think that the rules have been laid out pretty clearly. And they're pretty easy to follow. And we talk about, you know, wasted talent and wasted opportunities for a lot of these guys for whatever reason. Sometimes it's them being lazy. Sometimes it's them not being able to get out of their own way. You know, you can't lay off the sauce. Lane Johnson found a way to do it somehow.
Lane Johnson can't lay off the juice.
But, you know, we talk about these guys who can't get it right. And that's naturally going to happen, whether it's gambling, steroids, drugs, drinking. It's going to happen. Being a man whore, you know, being Deuce Bigelow. There's
Tyreek Hill, you mean?
Being Brett Favre,
you know, being CTE'd. You know, the CT is a different one, but these things happen no matter what, and some players just can't get out of their own way. So I think when it's like, oh, well, we opened up a whole new can of worms with allowing legal gambling. No, we really didn't open up a whole new can of worms, because most of these guys would have found a vice another way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the can was already open. People are just talking about it now.
Yeah, now it's just out in the public. I mean, the talk of Jordan, you know, what was it? Johnny Manziel going to Vegas and partying the night before a game. Jordan going to Vegas. Rodman almost missing a game or being benched because he was in Vegas. You know, we've seen the Last Dance stuff. Like, it's all been a part of it. It's just now that gambling is forefront, you just have to simply follow the rules that they put in place. So even if Ohtani did bet and lost all this money, if he didn't do it at a team facility or on Major League Baseball, you know, then it's a no news story, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you're on a cold streak worse than I am.
Right?
The thing is a good baseball player because he's a fucking terrible gambler.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is, you know, again, a knee-jerk reaction right away. Oh, that's a lot of money. That's a big problem. So we'll just get rid of his translator right now. But did he do it? Or are we just going to take word for face value and just be like, oh yeah, that's that sounds about right. This guy, he's got his trust, and he's got this, and he's got that, and well, let's just sweep this under the rug. That doesn't work. It
that's
doesn't
kind of
work.
what Colin was
Eventually, it's
saying,
going to come out.
like, who's more important, the translator or Ohtani? Ohtani. And the Dodgers, I think, also felt like they needed to have somebody that they can trust the word of. But then again, all that could be bullshit, and it could just be Ohtani gambling. So then they could trust the interpreter, and it was just they needed a fall guy. So it's hard to really say, what way it even went, But for now, yeah.
I mean, and there could even be.
Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say there could even be another level where if it was Ohtani gambling, I mean where the translator screwed him over. If the translator told him that he could do this, like that was okay in the rules. Like there is a whole nother level too. Which,
for sure.
I mean, I hope we don't have to get that far, and that this is it. This is all we have to hear about it. All we have to deal with it. Unfortunately, like I said, there's going to be more stories about this, that happen over the years. And as we go along and continue to cover sports, there's always going to be, this is going to come up with some players, some point, sometime. Like I said, we hear about players when it wasn't legal who lost millions and millions of dollars due to gambling. I was just watching a hockey documentary, and there was, oh man, I'm blanking out his name now. But he was a Devils player who ended up like gambling away all of his money. Like just every time he get a contract, a $3 million contract gone in like a week or a month.
Damn.
And it didn't have to be legal. So
that's what Adrian Peterson did. He was that's why he has to stay in the league so long and keep working out and keep staying healthy, because he didn't have any money left. He needed those quick $2 million, $1 million contracts that he was getting for the last like 3 or 4 years of his career. And then he did the whole boxing gig fighting Le'Veon Bell.
I don't know if they call that a fight, but anyway,
technically.
So I don't know. We'll
good fight.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays itself out. I feel like that's not anywhere near close to done yet.
No.
Moving on. Obviously, one of the biggest free agent candidates out there was Blake Snell. Blake Snell got an offer of 6 years, just about, I think it was $170 million offer from the Yankees. Turned it down.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
smart man.
Listening to his agents, Blake Snell just got $62 million for 1 year. And
Very
so,
smart.
That sounds better.
Here's my question. Cody Bellinger wanted $200+ million. He got 80. Matt Chapman wanted $150 million and got 54. Blake Snell wanted $270 million and got 62. Is Scott Boras losing his grip on the MLB? Are these general managers finally tired of his bullshit?
Hopefully.
Well, I don't think it's as much. I think it's more these long-term contracts for older players. Older players that they're not willing to sign. We've seen how some of them have aged poorly. Look at the New York Mets last year. I mean, that did not work out well. It worked out well for the teams that those guys were traded to.
Yeah.
After they left, but it hasn't worked out well for a lot of long-term contracts. And we could go back to the Josh Hamilton, the Albert Pujols deals. I mean, the Rockies and Todd Helton's deal. I mean,
Bobby
it looks
Bonilla.
like a steal right now. Bobby Bonilla was like, that was one that is
my favorite.
I don't think it's because it wasn't repeated. Some of these other ones were repeated.
Well, it's going to be repeted because
it already has been with Ohtani. Yes,
yeah.
I agree. It has been repeated now, but it's taken 30 years, 40 years, whatever. So I think that more clubs are a little bit more wary of signing the bigger long-term deals for pitchers, especially ones like Blake Snell had a good season, but not a great season last year.
Here's the thing about Blake Snell. I like him as a pitcher. He's not bad, but when he's good, he is good.
Oh, yeah.
That's a dangerous lefty up there. When he's bad, dude, he makes even Gary Sanchez looked like a good catcher.
I was gonna say Garrett Cole's throw to the backstop looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
AJ Burnett hitting the truck as it's driving by behind the backs when he's warming up. I mean, Blake Snell, when he is off, he is bad. And I mean, he can't go more. Typically, he averages about 5-6 innings a game. That's not enough.
No, that is enough. That is enough now in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on who you are, too, and how deep your bullpen is. And right now, bullpen pieces are good bullpen pieces are hard to find.
Well, but that's all Blake Snell has to sell himself for. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't care,
but
like he
I'm
doesn't
not-
like this 1-year contract for Blake Snell. He doesn't care about the bullpen and how they do because all he's going to do is look at his stats in San Francisco where his curveball is going to be dirty by the bay and like show the next contract be like, all right, this is what I did in San Francisco.
Yeah, but
Give me 5 years and my $200 million when the contract goes up, and maybe it's even more now. It's probably 4 years, 240 with 60.
I mean, he's on the other side of 30 though.
But that's why it might be a 3 or 4 year. But I if he has a great year statistically, I don't think he'll have a great win loss because it is San Francisco, and I think they're kind of in a rebuild. Like San Francisco
in a weird
is
spot.
doing a bunch of weird stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, they're in a weird
San
spot right
Francisco
now.
is a weird place. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. I mean, I wouldn't mind going back to that ballpark though.
Oh, I just booked my. Well, I'm not going to. I'm going to watch the Rockies actually play in Oakland this time.
Oh, are you?
It's
Nice,
officially booked.
nice.
Yep.
I gotta start working on mine. I got 5 ballparks left. My best friend lives down in Florida. Thanks, John, for the hat, by the way. Party Animals, the Savannah Bananas opponent right there.
Yep.
Nice.
The
Pick that
Pink
up.
Uni team.
Yep. So I gotta have him in Florida. I just gotta find a weekend we can hit both ballparks, and then I got 3 left after that. And I think I can get them all done this summer. It's just getting the right amount of money to do it.
Yeah.
All about that money.
Yeah. I don't know. I can get it figured out. I'll figure something out.
I believe in you.
It's 5 ballparks. I can do 5 ballparks in a year. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I got 5 planned in 2 months.
What?
I got 5 planned in 2 months. Well, technically 3, but
Are you doing that Frontier thing still?
yeah, it's
Is
phenomenal.
it worth it?
Well, if you use
With
it
how
right,
much
yeah.
Colin goes to games and other places, yes.
I just don't like flying Frontier.
Like I could book a trip to San Diego tomorrow for $15. $15 there, $15 back.
I hate you. Was it? They don't throw in like the seatbelt fee and the air fee and the seat fee and
No, that's the taxes. You pay $1 for your airfare and you pay the taxes. So if you have to connect, it costs $30.
Son of a bitch.
Like that's
So yeah, you just have to. You literally. I mean, all you have to do. I mean, I could pop on right now and see where I want to go. Like there are a few blackout dates, but they're not a ton. So if I have like 2
Well, I'm
days,
sure the blackout dates are dates I couldn't go anyway, like 4th of July weekend and
yeah,
things like that, because I have to work.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I got mine early, so it was only it was $500 for the year. But my trip to watch the Mets last year would have cost me $1,000 in airfare. So I mean, easily I saved it right there, and that doesn't include me flying back from Atlanta last year after I booked a one-way trip to Atlanta and I didn't book my return trip.
Do you get to keep the miles too?
Yeah, this year you do.
So you get the miles on top of it. Okay. Interesting. Because I got Detroit, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Miami, and Tampa left. I wanted to go during opening weekend, but obviously that's not going to happen now. Plus, trying to find a hotel out there that's somewhat affordable is also painful.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because you need 2 nights because they do a parade.
Oh yeah.
They do that big old opening day parade, and I wanted to go do that.
That sounds like fun.
but I don't know. We'll see. And then just trying to find anywhere to stay in Detroit that's safe is unnecessarily expensive too.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, they do. You know what else? You know what else we know?
No?
It's last time Colin's going to brag for a while.
Hopefully. I doubt it, though.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
Everybody, we are in the victory formation. Want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging with us to this point. Really appreciate you watching and sharing and subscribing, watching, sharing, all the stuff that you do to help our little podcast go. Really, really appreciate it. And as we go along into this victory formation, I did go 4-0 last week, so I got to say that was my last shining moment that I've had in the recent 2 weeks, as I've hit a cold streak. But I always seem to turn it around in the victory formation, and we all do because we're all profiting this year. So we're going to start it off with where we're at in March Madness right now. We got some special games. We have the Texas Longhorns against the Tennessee Volunteers. The Texas Longhorns, the team that knocked Nick's favorite team out, or the Tennessee Volunteers, who seem like they're on a roll, but can you trust them in March? I'm pretty sure we already know where Nick's going to go because he hates Texas. But, Nick, who you got?
Who you got?
I wasn't going to say I hate Texas, but I was still going to go with the Vols.
The entire state.
The entire state. Joe, who you got? The favorite Volunteers or the underdog Longhorns?
I don't know, man. I don't know much about these teams. I just kind of like the Vols because that's a cool, Volunteers. That's a cool name for a team. Don't love Texas, but also losing to a good team that advances a few rounds in the tournament past you was kind of nice. I don't care at all. Let's go Tennessee.
He's going Tennessee, and I am going Texas forever. Hook 'em horns right now. I actually have them as one of the picks to win the whole thing that I put $5 on from everyone else in at work. So someone picked Texas. It's Chef Joe, not Jonah. Chef Jonah's little Benedict Arnold switching his freaking choices up on me.
Yeah,
Chef Joe, and Texas forever.
We like people named Joe.
We move on to the game tomorrow. That game is this afternoon. Probably one of the better games this afternoon. Honestly, the slate, the odds are not that good. But we move on to tomorrow's game that is chosen in March Madness. Yale versus San Diego State University, a team that made the championship game last year. Obviously favored at -235. Yale from the Ivy League getting a victory, an unthought of victory for some.
Yeah,
some picked it, but most did not. So Yale at +185, San Diego State -235. Joe, who you got?
I kind of want to take Yale. That seems like fun. San Diego did so well last year. Yale's literally taking the torch from them this year. That sounds cool. Let's go Ivy.
San Diego State has not looked great, but what I will say, going back to our Colorado State and Texas conversation, San Diego State is a very talented team. They know how to win in this tournament now after last year. And I think that even though they've had some downtime, I think they were more looking forward to March Madness, and they'll be focused. So give me San Diego State. Nick, who you got?
I got to stick with my bracket. I can't be one of those guys, so go Aztecs.
Nick has the Aztecs. So we move on to Sunday night hockey. And we have the Sabres at 33-33-5 with 71 points, and the Flames at 33-30-5, also at 71 points in a matchup. Is it going to be the Sabres or the Flames in Calgary? I don't have odds for this because it is Sunday night. I want to give a bigger parlay option for you guys. So, with that being said, I am first to go, and I am still struggling, but I'm just going to go with the Flames because they're at home. Nick, who you got?
Yeah, I don't know. Buffalo's been so hard to really put anything behind. I mean, Calgary hasn't been that great either, but I'm with you. Calgary's at home, and they're still a little bit better than Buffalo.
Joe, who you got?
Guess we're sweeping it because I like Nazem Kadri, so I was just going to pick the Flames for that reason only.
We all hate Eric Johnson.
Yep, definitely. That's what I meant to say. Absolutely.
I love EJ. I hate Bowen Byram. Just kidding.
Like either of those guys. Also, the guitar player, Eric Johnson, don't like him either.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Bo. Sorry, EJ. Well, we move on to basketball. The Indiana Pacers head to La La Land and see if they can outpace the Lakers. Nick, who you got?
You know I can't pick the Lakers. I'm going Indiana.
I do know that. Joe, who you got?
Oh, this one's tough because Indiana's better, but the Lakers are desperate, but they're at least at the 9 spot right now. So they can afford to drop one. Yeah, I'm going to take Indiana. That sounds good.
Okay, well, I am taking the Lakers at home. It's worked out for me before. Hopefully it works again.
They do like to win at home.
And because because I do so good in the victory formation, I had to just add a 5th one this week. Since I'll be in Arizona for opening day next Thursday, let's go Rockies!
Humble brag.
Two
Humble brag.
primetime games. The Rockies and Diamondbacks. First pitch is at 8:10, and the Red Sox and the Mariners, I believe, is the other game. That first pitch is at 10. Give me 2 seconds. I will make sure that is correct. Red Sox Mariners, both Rockies and Red Sox first pitch as well. They're both away. So I guess in Seattle and in Arizona, first pitch is at 8:10. So we kick things off. Rockies, they have the odds out for this one already. Rockies at plus 200. Kyle Freeman for that
Kevin
guy.
Freeland?
Kevin Freeland on the
Case
bump
Keenum?
for the Rockies, and Zach Gallen on the bump for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So we go to our resident insider who knows nothing about baseball. Joe, who you got?
I'm going to take the Mariners because they're not the Rockies.
Yeah, they're not playing the
they're
Rockies.
not playing
It's the Diamondbacks or the Rockies.
They said Mariners Rockies.
No,
Mariners Red Sox.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I was like,
the two games that are going
Mariners.
at 10 o'clock are the Red Sox and Mariners, and the Rockies in Arizona.
Oh, I don't want to take the D-bags. Fuck it, taking the D-bags.
But he's gonna. I'm taking the Rockies. I already put my bet down on it, so whatever.
Nice.
They won the first 2 of the year last year against the Dodgers. They might as well beat the defending champs this year, or defending
NL champs.
This year.
What could possibly go wrong?
I was correcting myself, Joe or Nick.
Just making sure.
Nick, who
I
you
would
got?
have corrected you, yes.
Rockies always seem to start stupidly good. For whatever reason, they come out of spring training and they actually can win for a little bit.
Well, last year they only won 2 games, and then they were not above 500 after game 4.
That's what I mean. They start the season stupid good. They looked stupid good last year against the Dodgers. They looked stupid good against the Dodgers 2 years ago. They look stupid. You see where I'm getting at? They beat Clint Barnes, walked off of a Hall of Famer. And I'm going that far back. Yeah. So for whatever reason, the Rockies opening day is decent to them. So I'm gonna give K-Free his first dub of the year.
Oh yes, I'm gonna get that clip up where it was. Do you think the Rockies will ever be over 500 again, or even at 500? And they were not. That wraps it up. 5 games in the victory formation. We'll see what happens next weekend when we come back.
When we could see, there should have been like a commercial in there, and then we came back,
Next
and
time
then we close out the show.
Dragon Balls.
But
See.
instead, we're gonna have Joe say Dragon Ball Z. I'm gonna say thank you everybody for tuning in today. It's a beautiful Saturday. Colin's gonna mess with the volume of the audio for a minute.
It's fun.
Again, thank you everybody at e5280sports.com for hosting us. Without you guys, we couldn't do this as well. So E5280 Sports and everybody listening right now, thank you. We love you. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Pikes Peak Sports Cards, and check out everything on E5280sports.com, the Wheelhouse, Between the Lines, Gridiron Intel, everything you
Other
want.
stuff, yeah.
And Michael's
I'll tell you
show on
everything.
Sunday. Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
something for everybody. For Colin
Tell
Zanger
you.
and Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. This has been the Undrafted Uncensored. Go baseball.
Go sports.